Yo, ¿cómo están? It's Wild on Tuesday, and thank you for joining my channel. We have Insane Throttle, we have Brian, not Bree, the biker, and we have Shaggy, and we have Shaggy for the pregame.
Yes.
So, all right, Shaggy was a late entry. He came back from his meetings and he made it, apparently, because we thought you weren't going to be on the roundtable either this week, so that was good to have you back, man. So, Bri, thank you for joining us, Bri, and so Bri has a channel, the Bri the Biker. And if you want to talk about your channel a little bit before we just start talking shit.
Yeah, sure. I started my channel about 2 years ago. I have an interview series, Beyond the Rider. It's also a podcast. And I mostly focus on reviews. I had done some vlogs in the beginning, but yeah, great to be here. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, no, and you had what was your biggest video? It wasn't that long ago. You had a big video of.
I did. I dropped a $1 million Bogan video when that whole controversy was going on. I think it sits at about 35,000 views. It was kind of insane.
Yeah, and then do you know who that is, Shaggy?
No, but I'm gonna go check it out now. I mean, I've been getting pounded with all these new creators and stuff like that, especially today with the Dibbers, show. God damn, now I got about 10 more to go check out. I mean, I'm a busy guy, man, but I'll make time to check out shit on YouTube.
Yeah, no. Well, shit, after our roundtable, I was just chatting with Dibber on the phone until, like, I think it was late as fuck. But he was I think it was 2 in the morning over there, and he was wide awake.
Well, he's going to be calling me and Hollywood there this week, and we're going to get something set up, I think, for this weekend. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. We're going to come fuck shit up and drink beer, and I hope there's a lot of beer there.
Yeah, see, as Motovlogger, the $1 Million Bogus, I mean, I didn't know too much about him myself, but if you want to say a little bit about that too, Brian, you can.
Yeah, so he's based out of Australia, and he did a video that it's multiple things going on. They said it was flagged by Corporate Harley, and they pulled it. But he's also been on Big Brother in Australia, so there's talk that maybe it was actually him just kind of stepping out of YouTube and kind of blaming it on Harley. But yeah, he takes a Harley all over. He takes a Road King all over the Outback and does stupid shit. Pisses off all the Harley guys because it's you're not supposed to off road with a Road King, but that's what he does. It's pretty fun.
Well, he can do what the fuck he wants with it, right?
Right, it's his bike. It's
his
really
bike.
Funny. People get so butthurt watching him trash a bike, but I think it's great.
I just want to say thank you to Big Smitty, Hell's on Twos, and Anonymous Biker. Anonymous Biker's another motovlogger that does really good.
So, all my boys are here. Hey, guys.
Now they come out to support. And what are you doing, Insane? What's going on with you?
Not much, man. Thursdays, we're doing the highlights of the smaller channels because we got to start helping them out. You guys got some awesome stuff going. Before, I really wouldn't watch a lot of biker stuff. And, I started watching Wild on 2 stuff. I was like, man, these moto vloggers are killing it. And you guys are such a tight-knit community on YouTube. I wish the rest of us could be. I really do, because if we all came together as one and promoted NCOM, MRF, all that type of stuff, we'd really be doing a good service to the biker community. But unfortunately, we're not like you moto vloggers, man.
I think we're kind of changing that a little bit doing the roundtable. I actually want to try to come up with a date that we all can go. I don't care if we travel somewhere. We all meet together and actually do a live roundtable with everybody that right then and there. I mean, that'll be my goal. So,
well, you got Chicago, Atlanta, St. Louis, and then whoever the guests are going to be, we just take the map and just draw the center and meet there.
Yeah, no, I do agree. And I mean, my old lady was, when I told her that, she was like, okay, let's go. I asked, I messed around, I asked Holly, where are you at? He's Illinois Northern. And she was like, let's go this week. And I go, we can't go that quick. we gotta plan something.
So, well, one of the things with Brian, whatever.
No, I'll just rename my channel.
That's a hairy girl, man. That is a hairy girl.
I'm not going to argue with Hollywood.
What I like about
I don't even know where we got Bree from, because it says Bry, like B-R-Y. We all said Bree.
Well, I'm here to
kind of grade education didn't help with the reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's not required.
Right.
I'm Cuban, man. I don't know what the hell.
Well, one thing I like about his, and if I could suggest, is the more you can push the biker rights organizations, have people like Popeye OG from Texas Biker Radio, or Shaggy, or somebody else we can get from NCOM, MRF. I think that'd be a good thing for you, man, because
I mean, it's an open invitation. You want to sit down, I'd love to have you, anybody on, because I think the more of us that are, in your words, the independent, the smaller, and especially the smaller channels, I think that's the one thing that we lack as riders, especially the younger kids. They don't know I wouldn't say protocol in your sense, but protocol in like respecting each other and trying to help each other. And I think that it's important.
well, I'm not talking about the MC protocol. Shaggy just came out today with numbers on his video where independents are more likely to get profiled than clubs.
Okay.
You know, the independent biker really makes up most of the scene. Mm-hmm. And that's something that surprised a lot of people, was independents get profiled more than anybody.
Oh, I mean, it's like 90-something% are independent.
Yeah,
look at the numbers, the vast majority of the numbers. I mean, there's so many people with licenses, and then people that just ride in general, not including little moped and Vespas like Shaggy.
Yeah. My Vespa is jacked up with a blower on it. And a midget. She fucking sits on the back, and I'm going to tell you what, she gives the best blowjob ever.
You go popping willies down there. That's what you got to do.
That's why you put her on the very back for you. Them little midgets are heavy, man. They got a low center of gravity. Yeah, I'm going to go to hell for that. My wife probably watches this going, you got a blowjob from a midget? No, I'm not going to blow it. It's just a joke.
He thinks we're kidding now, but he does have a Vespa. Now, but I say like majority, like even
wheels, man.
The viewers, majority are independent riders. You know, a lot of people like seeing the scene into the club, but for us, like I told people many times before, anybody that rides a motorcycle, the way you act goes back to other independents and other MCs, and then people that get profiled, it's all the same. You know, they're going to profile, they're going to MC or not. They see anybody on the bike sometimes, they're just going to be. Trust me, through my neighborhoods, I cut through another neighborhood, and I always get. Not always, but I get looks, and once in a while I may get stopped to see what I'm doing going through that neighborhood. And that's the way to go to my house.
So as of 2020, the new survey come out in January that we do, but as of 2020, it was 34.61% of no club or organizational affiliation, which means independent bikers, motorcycle enthusiasts are profiled. And as of the survey that was released to us this weekend of the numbers, it's still at that 34% point. I think it's a 34.6 still. And the more people that take that, the more independents that take that survey, that number's just going to climb. Yeah. Because the independents and the motorcycle enthusiasts and the independent bikers, man, they control, just like Hollywood says all the time on the show, man. There are more independent riders than there are clubbers. There really is.
Oh, by far.
It doesn't seem like that sometimes when you're in the MC world, but man, you go to these bike rallies and shit like that, man, there's maybe 1,000, 2,000 fucking clubbers there, but then there's 150,000 that aren't in clubs. And this profiling thing is a huge issue, man. There's like 4 or 5 states that passed that law. And like I said on my video this morning, and I'll say it here, man, for the people that are watching this, for the people that are subscribed to Wild on Twos and Brian the Biker and Insane Throttle, man, I even said it for the guys that are subscribed to mine. It's almost 4,000 people that's getting notifications when I put a video out. Go out and fill out that survey. A lot of people have really slacked this year on filling it out, so the numbers are kind of low. And, we have to be able to come to a certain type of baseline, right, so that it's accurate. And we're almost there, but I think the more numbers we get in, the more staggering it is when you go in there and you talk to these legislators and they go, oh my God, there is this huge problem.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, and that's a big thing, especially with the COC meetings. A lot of MCs actually try not to go to the meetings, and there's a lot of important stuff and topics during those meetings that the MCs, they try to, like, if they don't hear it, they don't know about it, it's not their problem. Because I've been to some COC meetings, and the topics they do bring up, like the gang database and all the new laws coming out, or they're trying to pass about them. I mean, that's huge.
Well, so Texas, Clutch with I think he's in Region 12. He's in the Central Region, whatever it was. He's there out of Austin. He's big with the legislators. He talks with Popeye and OG quite a bit. He did a presentation, and they got some legislation, going, but everything seems to come to a shortfall. And when he starts explaining that gang database that they got down there in Texas, what really shocked me, and I even made the comment, I was like, man, when the fucking California and Texas flip? When I was a kid growing up in New Mexico, man, Texas was the place to be, man. Big, wide open spaces, so much freedom there. You do pretty much whatever the fuck you want to, far from killing somebody. And now you're wearing a patch, you get pulled over, and you got a firearm on you, you're going to fucking jail, period. Yeah. There's one county down there that they were telling me about this weekend, or a town, maybe a township or whatever it is. Everybody can carry a firearm constitutionally, but a patch-wearing biker.
Yeah,
really? Okay.
Yeah, one fucking township.
Well, it also, they try to throw you into the gang the gang thing, like we talked about, right? The 3 or more people with the same insignias, they'll throw you under a gang.
Well, no, it's even gotten worse than that. They can throw your mom and dad, your sisters, your brothers, because you're in a motorcycle club, but you're affiliated with your son, your brother, your uncle, your nephew. It doesn't matter. That's what I don't understand about that. Hey, I grew up in this lifestyle where, hey, I had to understand 2 things. The little old ladies were going to run me over, and the law was going to fuck with me. I'm good with that, right? But to include my family, who's not even, in no way, shape, or form, that really blew my mind what Texas is doing down there.
Breeze over here like a deer in the headlights.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
Fucking Chicago.
I'm here to massacre the English language, man.
You're doing a great job.
All right, so we can ask Brad. So what's your goals, Brad, with your channel? I mean, did your goals change when you kind of had a bigger video and you noticed that you had more attention, or are you trying to...
I really like doing the reviews. I really like doing the product reviews. That's what I've kind of stick to. And I want to expand the interview series to talk to more people and get the, like this experience, things that I'm not exposed to. I try not to take it too serious. I don't want to, this is never going to be a full-time gig for me. I think some people go way overboard in it. But I'm enjoying it. And the network of people has just been fantastic.
Yeah, you got a lot of motovloggers that they get really addicted to putting out the videos, and if they try to take a week off, they're freaking out. Like, then they get burnt out, like, because they're trying to come up with topics and things to do for like weeks.
That's why I find like the install stuff's easy, because you can talk about it, right? It's a light, it's a seat. That stuff's easy, but you see people like Bodine 52 that ride and have these. Salty does the same thing. They have these topics all the time. You do it. I just don't have that in me. I want to try it, but it's just not my thing.
I just suck at reviews, so there's so many. Everything on my bike, I was trying to I put majority of things in my bike upgrades, but then the last time I was fucking up so much, it would have been a great funny video probably, but I got frustrated and threw the fucking camera. I was like, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah.
And me and my boy were trying to work on the bike, and we had to take it to a professional. We were like,
it's ridiculous how much time it takes to shoot an install that should have only taken 45 minutes.
Oh yeah,
it's
I gotta ask Shaggy, man. What's it like doing YouTube now, man? You're the fastest growing channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
The hardest thing is to remember to do videos. I get so busy, like, I had National, it came up, and I didn't do anything that weekend, and I came back and took 5 or 6 days to recover from National, and so I didn't do anything that weekend. And then I did a couple, this past week during the week, because I was going to be gone this weekend. And, man, it's not finding the time, because, I try to make sure that in the mornings I put time to the side before I have to get on the bike and go run, or if I got to work on something, here at the house or for a brother elsewhere. It's just that getting to remember, because there's so much shit to talk about, right? I'm not worried about running out of stuff to talk about. I'm not Gibbard, man. It's slow paced. There's so much important stuff that needs to be discussed and looked at. And I've had some conversation with guys that this is the new form, right? So I've been checking out the analytics part of the YouTube thing, and I've been kind of starting to understand how it works. So I started looking at the demographics of my show. And I've always said, the MC community right now is between that 35 and 45-year-old range, man. You look at these prospects, they're in that range. And these new brothers, they're in that range, right? I was in that range when I moved from the one club to where I am now. My demographics has started kind of shifting a little bit towards the 25 to 35. And those are the guys that I'm really targeting, right? Because those are the guys that are going to take the club life into the future. But they got to get good information. The shit that's out there right now. Matter of fact, I watched one of Sosta's Poser's fucking videos, and he put in there that MC stands for Men's Club. MC has never fucking stood for Men's Club. As long as I've ever known, it's always stood for Motorcycle Club. And then he said that, if you weren't sanctioned in certain ways, your MC was split. But if you're an old traditional club, sometimes they just split the MC up. And I'm going, where in the fuck is he coming up with this shit, man?
He's reading Google.
Motorcycle Club, which is what Double D is in. He's an old club. They've been around since the late 60s, early 70s, something like that. Their MC is split, and they're a traditional club. Nobody told them to split their shit up. I think he reads maybe a little bit too much into some of these other channels, or maybe that club he was in, or maybe the people he's got around him when he was going from banger to fucking motorcycle rider or whatever the fuck he wants to call himself. He's damn sure ain't no 1%er, because a 1%er would not put out false information like that. That really kind of struck me, because some of the stuff he says and he says in a positive manner, and he says it in a good light, and he's correct on some of it. But the MC thing blew my mind. He's trying to explain MC, RC, and a lot of what he had to say had to curtail to the black side. And man, I just was like, what the fuck is going on here? And it just, every time I see something like this, it pushes me harder, and it really instills into me that these guys really have to get this right information. And that demographic right there is our future, man. Our parenting skills in my generation, y'all's generation sitting on here, that technology came out. Now, I was fortunate enough. I refused to let my son have all that shit, man. Get out house, do something. Even though that was a hard thing to do for a millennial, but stuffing all that technology in front of these kids, they're not interested in turning wrenches. They're not interested in riding motorcycles. They're not interested in that shit. But if you put stuff out there that might catch their attention, because millennials, their attention span's like a gnat, man. It changes so quickly. And so that demographic right there is very, very important for all of us to target, because that's the future of this lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean that's majority. I mean, I don't know, and I don't know if you're dealing with the SEO tags and all. That's a whole different ballgame for YouTube and algorithms and your target market.
Man, I'm barely getting started. Just don't start confusing me now. I'm just starting to figure the analytics.
But trust me, I already looked up, and you have zero. The thing is that Shaggy, you have the gold. Like Black Dragon says, golden 2000, right? You have your followers that you're getting are great from coming from like the Insane Throttle BD. Very targeted for you. So any videos you make, you have good interaction, good views, and that's more important than any SEO thing.
Do you think though that people are jumping on that?
Start this? I didn't really originally start this for that. Good. I mean, it's cool. It's working that way. I did this because I love my lifestyle. I love this life. This life has made me a better person. It has done so much for me in living my life better, right? More happier. And so that message is not being put out there right now. Poor Hollywood, all he puts out is, man, this club did this and this club did that. And I don't blame him, man. If you make front page news, you deserve to be put on blast. Fuck you. If you don't like what I say, I don't give a shit. Stay off front page news. That's one of the lessons I learned. Right. The other thing too is he's entertainment. I'm not entertaining anybody. I'm trying to educate and give good, solid. Hey, man, this is a fun, free lifestyle. Get on that motorcycle, man. Put some miles down. Feel that vibration of the road. Feel that wind around you. Knees in the breeze, man. That was the old saying back in the day, right? You know, you work,
and that's a catch-22, right? That's a catch-22 about the free. Independent writers that hear all rants about our protocols are like, that ain't fucking free. I tell people there's more rules in an MC, right? But I mean, it's a whole different type of freedom.
So I'm glad you said it that way. And a guy put a comment on mine the other day, and the dude was like, what he said was spot on, man. And I responded back to him with, this lifestyle ain't for everybody. There is a huge difference from 1%er to MC to RC, RA, your support clubs, your fucking brotherhoods, your t-shirt clubs, all that. And then there's a huge dividing line between that club lifestyle and the independents. The independents can do what they want. They can say what they want. They can go where they want. But they got to be very careful. If you're going to mingle with the bikers, at least know the number one rule, which is respect. You go up there and be like, your club's a fucking gang and you're this and you're that. You're going to lose your teeth, man. And that's saying it nicely. You know, I dig the independents, man. I dig the MROs, the A-Baits, the Freedom of the Road Riders, all these other organizations they have across the states. They do a great thing. And they have really opened up to working with the clubbers, because the clubbers don't really have a voice, right, across this country, because we're too lazy to go sit up at the Capitol. We're too broke to go pay for lobbyists. But these independents are important to our lifestyle. They're hearing us talk about protocol. They're hearing us talk about all these things that we do in our life. But one thing they're missing is, if they're not club material, that information is not geared towards them. It'll help them if they get in a situation, maybe. But it's geared towards that guy who wants to be a 1%er, or he wants to be in an MC or an OMC. He wants to be in an organization that's something bigger than himself, and it involves a bunch of men sitting around a table who have, you know, some pretty strong thoughts and feelings. That's who the information's geared towards.
Do you think, though, Shaggy, that a lot of people are jumping on it for views? Because I see a lot of people.
Yes, I do. Every other fucking word out of that Thug Rider dude is buy products, buy my this, buy my that. You'll never see that on my show. One, you know how expensive it is to make t-shirts? I know some of you guys do. You know how expensive it is to make hats? Now, here's the other part. I ride a fucking motorcycle everywhere I go. I have a Heritage Softail. That thing can't carry all that shit when I'm trying to make some money. I ain't doing this for money. I ain't putting. He
sells tamales on the side of the road. Don't get
God
twisted.
Right, dude. I love tamales. Don't start it now, man.
You look like a tamale guy.
I love tamales.
And pink
tamales,
tacos.
some hot sauce, and some tecate.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that, Shaggy, off of a 1%er's view. I am entertainment. And you know how hard that is to push to people that I'm just an entertainment channel? Don't listen.
So here's the deal with you. You came from a pretty big support club that's well known, right? Notorious. So they're looking at it as, oh, man, he's trying to do this. No. You're in a business, and the key word is business, right? If you had to report on my club, right? Man, it'd be some scowling. It's just club mentality, man. That's just the way it is. But you roll with the punches, you go with it. You know, 20, 25 years ago, if you were doing what you're doing now, oh, dude, they would never find your body. You know, that's how much the lifestyle's changed. And I'm actually not being funny about it. That's a true fact. Matter of fact, Hollywood could tell you that himself, right? Because it was pretty violent back then. It was deadly, man. You didn't talk about clubs. That was considered talking club business. But the thing back then, too, is you didn't make front page news.
No.
Today, it's like, okay, let's make front page news, because guess what now? Bad advertisement is just as good advertisement.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and it's just like the saying, right? Like, if you don't want to be called a gang, don't act like a gang.
Fucking right, man. That's absolutely right. We do have the pack mentality. I'm not going to lie about that. Every organization has the pack mentality. I grew up with the pack mentality, you know. But the fact of the matter is if the information that you're getting from us, it's just information. It's my opinion of what I've lived in my life. It doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% right all the time, because the United States of America with motorcycle clubs is a very state by state, club by club, region by region. You know, and not
chapter by
protocol applied. And chapter by chapter, yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny, Shaggy? You said that, and Wild on 2, I like to get your thoughts too. one of the biggest things that, and I admit it, I'm old, is
Oh, yeah, you are.
You brought it up earlier, Shaggy, that 20 something years ago, you'd have been dead. That's what a lot of people don't understand, where my thinking is. Maybe I bring that thinking to the show where, what the hell you doing riding off your club? Or what are you doing? You know, this ain't all kumbaya stuff. There's some serious problems out there that need to be addressed. And the positivity is great, but there is negativity out there. And when it comes to the news, you know, you make front page, because like you said, it never happened before. The only thing we had in biker news back then was what's it called, the Biker News Network, man. They were around since 99.
It was Aging Rebel,
Aging
Rebel, and the other one was it wasn't Biker News, it was 1%er News or something like that.
Right.
Damn, I used to read their articles all the time, but all that shit came from the Associated Press, or it came from the Washington Post. It was the big newspapers back in the day those articles came from. The shit that Aging Rebel used to write about all the time. Those started from the Washington Post, or, you know, the Herald, or the Sun, or the Globe. It came from somewhere, right? And Aging Rebel, what he did, and I always admired what he did, is he kept it respectful, but he also kept it factual. Like, you could fact check every fucking article Aging Rebel did, and he didn't go like, you know, high and right like some people do, and he didn't put his opinion in it. You know, he did a couple editorials, and you know, oh dude, Aging Rebel was a biker, man. He was legit, but you know, he knew that fine line to ride. Where today's day and age, there is no fine line, man. It is open season. Clubs, it's open season on the freedom of speech, right? Where, you know, I love what was said this weekend to me, man. When you join a motorcycle club, this ain't a constitutional fucking hierarchy. You don't have no constitutional rights in a motorcycle club. You're in a motorcycle club. You agreed to those bylaws. You agreed to that foundation, that standing, and what that club stood for. This ain't no court of law going to happen here. You know,
well, I mean, it's changed a lot over the years. You know, I mean, back then, yeah, when I first met a club, like I told you, the first time I met a club where I found everybody back in 2003, our phones didn't have internet. I couldn't look up who's talking to me. I chatted with these guys for the longest time, but then after, not longest time, but let's say a month, then I went home and actually got on the computer, dial up, made all that noise crap, and, you know, start searching. And then you see some news about them, but it wasn't prevalent. And I understand over time that it's good to use technology for certain things. But at the same time, there's a difference between real club business or just general talks of opinions, or trying to help people out about my region, you know, throw out disclaimers. But when you have supposedly a 1%er putting out information and thumbnails with other 1% clubs I'm used to about asking permission. Don't drop names. Don't do anything unless you talk to them. Hey, is it cool? And you talk to the, you know, powers that be. But just throwing up the, you know, someone else's cut. Like if I grab your cut, Shaggy, like your club, and start posting shit about it, talking about it without saying anything to you guys, I was taught that that's a big no-no. You know,
the problem with that is when you get into the media part of it. The media part is a lot more different than, well, I see what you're saying about the other channel, but media is different.
Correct. Like you're more of a media channel. So that I view that as different.
I don't know if you guys know, I'm a member of ONA, man. I'm one of the biggest press organizations in the United States.
But you're sanctioned and you're like legal and legit with all that shit, right? The rest of us that are doing this aren't. We don't have them fancy numbers you got behind your head there. You know, we don't have the FE. Was it
we're done through the
Federal Information, whatever it's called. Not the SEC. That's football. I forget what it is.
Welcome to the pregame.
We're accredited through NOA. We're accredited through CSAC, a lot of other things. But going back to how things have changed, I think my biggest problem, and that pisses me off the most, is everybody forgot who COC was. Everybody forgot what NCOM was. Everybody forgot MRF, the new guys, and I think that's where my difference with the new guys come in, because I'll say it, one of my idols was J.R. Reed from the Sons of Silence, and he started NCOM with Richard Lester. He was there. He was in the forefront of trying to get people together, where you have these newer guys saying, we all need to get together. Well, wait a second. There's an organization that's been doing this since the 80s. Why ain't you beefing up on them and getting a word out on them? And I think that's where my attitude changes towards the younger ones. They don't know.
Well, see, there's more to that
about.
than what I can talk about, and there's more to that than what I will talk about. But there is more going on behind the scenes to try to change that. You got to remember that was started when all the gray beards we have now that are running it didn't have any gray in their hair. That's been going on 30 some odd years now, right? And these guys are still in leadership positions and are, still doing it because nobody wants to step up. And that's the same way with clubs. Clubs are getting grayer and grayer, more silver, more chrome, as they call it, because these young cats don't want to step up. And it's not that maybe they don't want to step up, maybe they do, but the old guys are going, man, I'm not turning this over to you because you're going to destroy what we built, because of your ideology. I really, truly believe, man, in order to convince these old guys and these elders and these founders to turn things over, is you've got to convince them that you have a plan to carry the club into the future 10, 15, 20 years down the road, which gives the next group, the next generation coming in to come up to you when you become the elder and say, hey, man, I got a plan 10, 15, 20 years down the road. That's how it happened when I was in my former club and we took the club from the founders. We came to them with a plan that included 10, 15, 20 years down the road. Well, these new cats, man, they're like, I just want to keep partying. I want to keep riding. I don't want no responsibility.
Well, to a point, right? Like,
I want to do my job.
Yeah, and to a point, because I like a lot of these clubs, I trust me, like, you put your ear to the ground and you hear these guys are literally prospecting and they're already thinking like, oh, within the first 3 years, I want to be vice president. I want to do this. I want to challenge the essay.
Faster than that.
Yeah, I want to be the essay. I'm gonna, then they start thinking about ways to potentially challenge the essay. I'm like, instead of thinking like, hey, how do I become the best brother I can be? How could I maybe approach the essay and say, hey, in the future, in the long run, I want to be an essay just like you. Could you help me out and like learn from you? Instead of being more vindictive and trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna take that spot.
I'd like to address Hell's on Two Wheels. And that's the biggest misconception about COC, and Shaggy can talk about it.
They have independents.
Why doesn't the COC have a get-together day with independents? From what I know, independents can go to the NCOM convention and all that.
Yeah,
they can.
I think there's a representatives of independents in the COC meetings I've been to. There's always been like some representative for independent and writers
and that's the stuff. And I was talking more towards YouTube, us creators not getting this information out. Because Hell on Wheels, why don't independents, mess with the COC? They do.
Well, and that's the thing, man. It's all this misinformation.
I'll be right back.
And it's people putting this misinformation that won't take the time to do the work, to dig in and go find out, right? They just want to spew whatever comes out of their mouth on these channels, and that's what hurts.
Well, that's the problem with YouTube. It's the algorithm. It's all driven for clickbait, right? You put, I put a clickbait. You see these people, I almost died, or I put a title up that I ran into a 1% crew. That video is going to go through the roof because everybody's going to click on it, and it's a shame because, like you said, the information that people are putting out, I don't care what it is on YouTube, is based on views. It's not based on fact. It's sad. It's really sad.
Well, and so I'm hoping with what I've created and what a lot of people are really liking and really like complimenting on, man. It was cool to go to the NCOC meeting, and a lot of guys there have been watching my channel, and it's really cool to be recognized by my peers that they're digging it and they're saying how righteous it is, and I'm not here for the clickbait, man. I'm not here for the accolades and the pats on the back, man. I'm here to preserve my lifestyle for the next generation. I'm here to pass on what was passed on to me, man. I'm a firm believer. Pay it forward. I mean, if you don't train the next generation, like in the military, we had this saying, man, we trained these new guys that came in to replace us. That was the key thing, man. You train those troops to take your job, because at any minute in war you could get killed, and somebody needs to step up. And if you don't carry that mentality throughout your life, especially when it comes to organizations like motorcycle clubs, or I mean any organization for that matter, if you don't have somebody there to replace you, then the organization goes away. And this lifestyle is the oldest living lifestyle for any genre in American history. The cowboys and Indians are gone, man. The outlaws of the bank robbers and shit like that, they're gone, man. The bikers are all that's left. They're the one percenters are the last of the outlaw generation and the outlaw ideology. And it's not so much of the miscreant law breaking individuals anymore. It's more along the lines of, man, you're not going to fucking tell us what to do. You're not going to tell us how to live our lives. We don't need you in our lives to conduct ourselves and take care of ourselves. And it pisses law enforcement off. It pisses legislators off when we tell them, look, that's outstanding. That we need your help to pass these laws, but after the laws are passed, we don't need you no more.
What did I miss?
We have to pass laws when we have a constitution.
Did Brian talk shit?
Yeah, you asked me a tough question.
I figured Brian was talking shit.
Well, I would also suggest Dibs in the Wins in the comments section. Everybody visit Dibs, man. He's the godfather, and he can talk about UK and Europe
look
stuff.
Him up.
Oh, Dibs is the best.
Oh, you got to look him up. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to kidnap his ass.
Dibber for over 20 years, man. Dibber's the man.
That's how long he's been around.
There's nothing more humbling when you just start this creator thing, which I didn't create anything. All I did was tell the truth. Others created it. I just didn't like what they were doing because they're full of shit. And but I've been following Dibber for so long, and we've been communicating since I was in my 20s. I'm in my mid 40s, so that tells you how long, right? But Dibber has always done like, and I didn't realize I was doing it like him because it'd been.
That's back in beepers, man. You guys were communicating in pages.
Beepers, yeah. I had a beeper, and they did fuck things up. Dibber was right today when he said something about them beepers.
No, I know. You know him. Actually, the truth is, you actually know him back in the AOL. What was it? The Messenger forum stuff back in the day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, that's a true story. I think they go back like a long time.
Windows 95, man. Windows 95 is.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
What was that Larry game on the computer?
Leisure Suit Larry.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Dude,
yeah.
I remember when I was in my former club, we would send emails back to each other, and that was before you got into the Facebook pages and the MySpace and all that shit like that. I was afraid to open up my emails sometimes. I opened it up one time, and it was 2 chicks in a cup or something like that. I made about 30 seconds in that video before I was puking everywhere. And then there was a dude in a jar. And it got to the point where I'm in the military. I'm in this big box computer in front of me, not the nice little flat screens they got now. And I was afraid to check my email because I didn't know what I was going to see or what others were going to see and get me in trouble.
Well, you remind me of...
and we were all active duty back then.
You remind me of the U.S. Equivalent to Dibber in the Win, because Dibs is one of the guys... or the guy that, we call him the godfather of this, that we look up to because he gives us the straight answers. He gives us the straight stuff.
And
just
he's been
like
around
you.
for a while.
Yeah.
So I was a prospect when I discovered him 21 years ago, right? So I'm going through this MSN thing, and I see him, and he was young, man, but even though he was British, at the time I was just divorcing a British chick. So I hated all Brits. But for some reason, he was sitting there talking to me, and I was just starting to prospect. Even though he was talking about stuff overseas and in Europe and all the things in his travels and stuff like that, it was relating to me what I was going through, right? He was one of the first ones talking about the fun and the freedom and the riding and the this and the brotherhood and all this other shit like that, right? Nobody was talking about that stuff. He was putting it out there, and none of it was club business. It was totally like straight line common sense shit, man. That's the way we believed back then. We didn't have 30 pages of fucking bylaws. We had 1 or 2 pages of bylaws, and everything was the unwritten rule. You know, he was discussing today about, you know, the more shit you write down when he was talking about these books and stuff like that. You know, it gives the feds and it gives all these law enforcement agencies, to include these legislators, when you go up and testify, it gives them a blueprint about every goddamn thing you do in a club. There's nothing wrong with being a secret society, man. The Catholic Church is a secret society.
Dibber says he was in
a secret society.
Hey, Shaggy, Dibber was in his 30s when he first spoke in MSN.
Oh my God, MSN.
I was 23.
23. Yeah. Hey, if there's any questions in the comment section, I know we have over 40 people on the comment section or so. If you guys have questions, we can
Motovloggers in the house. It's got
Brian. We need Brian to talk a little bit. So what's your thoughts as an independent viewing MCs? And you don't have to be, you know, you can be straightforward. You can say, "Oh, I think
you ain't gonna hurt my feelings. Say what's on your mind." I got
He doesn't have any fucking feelings. That's why.
I actually
no empathy, no sympathy.
Fuck your feelings,
motherfucker. Fucking have to work harder than an ugly stripper,
man. I got to get me some cool shirts like that, man.
Dude, I got like my whole closet. I have the really.
Brian, you will get to answer your question. Trust me. He does this.
No, I don't think so. At this
fucking
point.
Shirts every week.
No, I actually, you know something. Before I cut off Brian, or after I asked him a fucking question, I actually made a shirt. Amazon Writing Club after last week.
Dude, I want to make one that says Walmart. The green.
We should have
boss. You got to go.
All right, Brian. So what's your view? What's your view from an independent about MCs? Without like, don't worry. We're not going to worry about if there's anything bad.
You know, I've had some engagement with MCs, and I've never had an issue. As Shaggy said, I mean, you know, maybe it's the culture of almost being 50, but I was taught respect as a kid growing up, and I think it's interesting. I like to learn it, but as we were talking when you stepped off to Shaggy, that I think it's important that people realize what they're watching on YouTube isn't always based in reality. Because one of the things that I picked up from watching you guys is about how things are, you know, regional and not everything's the same. And I think I'd love to talk to you, Shaggy, and all you guys to find out, you know, as an independent, what are the top 5 to 10 things that every independent should know for engagement with an
There's
MC?
actually 3. There's only 3 things they should know.
Okay.
There's 3 things you never ask a 1%. How many people are in his club?
Mm-hmm.
When he joined his club?
And what do the patches fucking mean?
And what do those patches mean? Actually, before then, because you know, you never want to start a conversation about a biker's bike. People think that that's the way to break the ice. Hey, man, what kind of bike is it? We're looking at you like, hey, man, if you don't know what kind of fucking motorcycle that is, we're already into education mode, and there's a lot of times when we're out and about, we're not in education mode. We're there riding, having a good time. You know, you should know a little bit about motorcycles before you start asking about motorcycles.
Okay.
No, that's Uncle Shaggy.
Hashtag Uncle Shaggy.
Shaggy in the wind. No, it's Uncle Shaggy. Don't confuse everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Shaggy in the wind. Dibber, he's taking you.
No, I ain't. You can't take the legend like he is, man. He's the godfather.
No, but one of the, I mean, I get that question a lot all the times. Like, how many people are in your club? How many, you know, there's only, everybody says the same answer, right? More than one, less than a million, and shut the fuck up. You know,
right.
Really, you don't need to.
We don't know how many it's going to take to handle this situation, but we're going to bring as many as we need.
Yeah, one of my favorite questions was, I was hanging around with a big club, and someone said, aren't you the club from the gangland? And they start asking questions about the gangland. Jesus. Hey, they were very respectful. The club was very respectful and actually answered questions, so that was pretty funny. So.
I always thought it was you guys have mentioned on Black Dragon's channel, you know, it's family business, it's private business, you don't talk about it. But I think that there should be, I would love to see a video on how, because I don't think a lot of people understand, you know, just basic etiquette. I know Wild, when he was on with the fireside chat, was talking about, you know, how you pass an MC, things like that. I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even passing people in general. I was going to say, sorry to interrupt, just that my other video, mind you, I'm not in a club right now. In my video, I'm actually passing another biker, random independent biker, and I slowed up right next to him, gave him the fingers, and fucking took off. That's just a respect thing I do. Yeah. I don't want to just blow by the fucker, even though it depends. If I see another club, I like fucking with people sometimes, but a regular independent person, I'll kind of just slowly come up next to him and then give him a little twos and go nice and easy and take off. I mean, I don't just blow by people. That's just me. Same thing with anybody.
I got to answer this Pepe's question. What's the teardrops mean? That I don't talk about my personal stuff. You'll never hear me talk about my personal stuff.
In the MC scene, you don't ask that question. In the game scene, you don't ask that question. But there is information out there on what it does mean. For those that know. For those that don't know, don't ask that question, man. I hate to be like that, but everything's got a meaning, and some things are better left unsaid.
Got that right.
Hey, look, I'll put those shirts up on my. He's asking as being a founding member of the Amazon Writers, he wants to have a shirt, so I'll be making shirts. No, but same thing with the teardrops. Anybody is willing to give you tons of information. Most likely, they're bullshitting and they're fake. There's people that put tattoos.
They're fucking informant. And they can't keep their fucking mouth shut.
No, or that too.
Yeah, that's why I'm of the old school, man. Nobody on my channel, anything knows anything personally about me. That's the way I was raised in all this stuff, is to shut up. Don't put all your information out. Don't put your clubs out. Any of that stuff. That's the way I was.
My thing was a little different. I was going to say my thing was a little different regards. I think some people know my background, some history on me. I came from more of an organized family, I'll say a club, right? But not a motorcycle club. So the rules we had are almost like your significant others and friends didn't know fucking shit of what you did. Nothing. I was just, no one, your wife, nothing. In the MC community, there's more pillow talk than a lot that people should be talking about. And it gets, I mean, as you know, Shaggy and Insane, a lot of wars have started. I think more wars have started over women.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The biggest war in the MC world did.
So something I actually had witnessed over the years, and I didn't really start paying attention to it about 5 or 6 years ago, and it just dawned on me. It's like a light bulb went off. When these guys get out of clubs or they die, right, their women are like, well, what do I do now? Next thing you know, you see them with another brother. Or you see them with another club and their guy. It's like they can't leave the lifestyle because they've been in it all their life too, right? And I call it the recycled women's club.
We should make a cut.
And it happens a lot.
All the Walmart club.
I feel, I'm not trying to sound heartless or nothing, because I do kind of feel for them women, because the club is, the club old ladies don't matter, right? They're not in the club. But they matter a lot, and they go through this shit that we put them through because of our lifestyle, man. And I could see that being a problem after living, your old man does 40-something years in the club and he passes away, and you're still pretty youthful, and you just can't stay away from the club, or, you still have ties. And one of the things that was real hard for my wife and I when I changed clubs, and I'm not embarrassed to say this because it's a human thing, was letting that side of me go, letting that side of her go. They're not our brothers anymore. They still are in a sense. They're my brothers from another club now. Some of them are really still close to me because that it's just there, right? But my old lady don't have that old lady thing that she had for 18 and a half years anymore. She's got a new group of old ladies that she's having to learn and stuff like that. And that's a really tough transition for these women. And I can see their strife with what they're going through after the old man goes.
Yeah, it's like Dibber said. I saw in his comment, like whenever he's asked about his club, they get the same answer. Those that need to know already know. Those that don't know simply don't fucking need to know. That's
right. I was always taught, man, if nobody talks, everybody walks.
It used to be that way, Shaggy.
Yeah, the guy Jake, there's a comment that Jake says, how does one handle that on the flip side where you're ridden for years. Maybe the old lady rides too, and now you join a club and she wants to know what's going on or wants to communicate. And my thing,
shut up.
yeah, well, my thing is simple, right? There's only the same thing. She just knows I'm doing a club thing, or if not, or sometimes say, hey, I gotta go. She already understands where I'm fucking going. It's
So
the more you're
where
in
I
there, you learn.
My wife and I have been together a long time. She was with me when I started prospecting for my former club, and she witnessed me literally come from being a punk, that had a death wish, to being taught and becoming a leader and stuff like that. And I told my former national president one time, I said, look, pillow talk was a big issue. And I said, man, I'm not going to lie to you. My old lady knows just as much probably as everybody else. But my old lady is Sicilian, she's deadly. She's a McStabber. I mean, she'll fuck you up, you give her a chance. But she knows to keep her mouth shut and she don't get involved in that. And sometimes, that she was my vent tool, right? I would vent to her. I mean, before I had church, I'd be so fucking mad sometimes. I'd get it off my chest and go there, and it actually kept me from, losing my cool with brothers. But when I came to the 1% side and went through that process of the hang around and the prospecting and learning the things that I needed to learn to make that transition, she's not told anything anymore. And I do that in the aspect of plausible deniability.
Well, to give you guys some context on the women, and Shaggy will know this. In the old days, especially 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, women were treated like second-class citizens because they would cause a lot of shit, but they knew when to shut up.
It ain't like second-class citizens by the bikers, bro. They were treated like that by the entire country.
Exactly. But when it came to those old guys, man, I'm talking Vietnam guys, they knew to shut up. And that's where you'll hear the saying, go sit in the corner and shut your mouth. Because I bang on women. That's a part of my skit on my morning show. But actually, it's real true, because a lot of, these new guys hear that kind of stuff. And they're like, well, you're this, you're sexist. And that's the way everybody thought. And there was
it tickles me when these so-called experts come out when they do these trials and shit like that, right? Me and Double D was talking about this, and they did it to the Mongols case, right? Oh, they treat their women like this, they treat their women like that, they hook them out, they do, they make them, mule drugs, they make them hold their guns, they do this shit. Man, I'm here to tell you right now, your wife, my wife, or my brothers treat their wives and girlfriends, and they put them on a pedestal. When we're in the club environment, there's a time and place for everything. What you do in your personal home, I'm here to tell you, is your business. Ain't nobody else's. But when you're around the club, these women that are around the club that are with these men and these brothers, they're professionals, man. They know to keep their mouth shut, keep their ears closed, keep their eyes open and pay attention, but don't get involved in conversations. They know how to get their man's attention if need be. My wife is one of the most professional women I've ever met in my life in this lifestyle, because she could be madder than a motherfucker at me before we leave. But as soon as we hit that club scene, as soon as one brother shows up, or a dozen, or 1,000, it doesn't matter. She goes right into omerta. She keeps her mouth shut. She don't say nothing. She follows the rules. Now we get back home from point A where that conversation ended. It begins like it never stopped. Trust me.
No, I mean, my old lady, the one thing about my old lady, if I consider anyone family, she'll defend anyone that I consider family or her family, just like anyone else. I'll be more scared of my old lady than any other guy. And the thing is that you can't talk shit to her. I mean, literally, that's one of the things with her. She's very boisterous to a point, but she kind of knows when to be quiet. But trust me, if she has the opportunity, she's a strong woman. And a lot of the women are like that. People they see property patch on, they think the woman just stays quiet, shuts the fuck up. No, they're strong women. They just know when to talk or not to talk. But when I've been to big events at some of the clubs that you spoke about, trust me, the women are held like on pedestals. People respect them. What they do in their private doors, that's none of our fucking business.
We also forget too is how loyal they are, and we sometimes are real poor about giving them that path.
They do more for the individual than anybody would do. They will do more for the individual than anybody else.
Hey
If it
guys,
was-
just to give you a 5-minute warning for
Yeah, I was going to say that. Well, everybody in the comments section, we're going to be going to Black Dragon, the round table, and it's going to be Shaggy, Insane Throttle, Salty, and Sprinkles. And anyone else? I think they're going to have someone else, Insane.
yeah, they're gonna have another
Big Bones
guest.
will be up there, I think.
Yeah, Big Bone 1%er and someone else, too.
And then there's a guest from the Outcast out of Houston.
Yeah, out of Houston, a Texas boy. So if everybody make sure, I mean, I don't know if you want to put the link in there. I have the link for us, but not for his channel on there. If you want to put it in the comment section.
Black Dragon TV.
Here, I actually had the video up.
Don't forget Thursdays on my channel where we highlight all the smaller guys like Bry the Biker, a lot of good ones, man.
There's a crap load. There's a crap load of great motovloggers, great content, funny guys, serious guys. And guys, go check out Bry the Biker, his channel. If you guys can go there, give him a little support. He does reviews. He does other interviews. What's the title of the interview? It almost sounds like the one I had, like Man Behind the Patch, but for yours,
it's Beyond the Rider. And
Beyond the Rider.
Your first guest has to be Shaggy, man.
Oh, he already has guests on there.
Yeah, we've got guests, but Shaggy, Wild, Insane. I'd love to have you guys on.
Email me at shaggy9669.com or at gmail.com, and we'll get something going, Doug.
I'd love it, Shaggy.
And
thank you
also,
so much,
everybody
Shaggy
out there,
Sturgeon. It's hilarious. He is funny,
Motorcycle Profiling Survey, MPP.com. Fill that survey out. It takes like 30 seconds. There's like 5 or 6 questions. Very important information.
All right, man. I'm gonna head over there.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you guys so much.
It off, guys. This is Wild on Tuesday. Thank you for joining this week's pregame. Till next week, everybody go to Black Dragon. I'm going to post a video coming up this Monday. Hopefully, I don't know. I got to make it tonight. I already have it, got to edit, but probably won't. Take care. Much love and respect.
See you.
Peace.
Peace.